Welcome to the finals of the maiden edition of the Royal Banking and Finance Challenge. 4 schools out of 16 have made it to the final. They've weathered a storm and they are competing to be called the champions of the maiden edition. Royal Banking and Finance Challenge 2017 is brought to you by kind courtesy of EduFair Ghana Foundation, the organizers.
The Royal Banking and Finance Challenge 2017 is supported by the Ghana Stock Exchange, Smith, Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana, Glycolife, Databank, Everpure, The Finder, TV Africa, GH1 TV, Joy News, Joy Prime and Adom TV, and proudly brought to you by the Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank. Real banking, real difference.
There's a place in my heart that makes me feel that you're the one. It's a place I wanna be, 'cause satisfaction guaranteed. From strength to strength you help me grow, 'cause you're there for me. And teach me how to be independent, 'cause you care for me. It's you.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank.
Banking with transparency, commitment to integrity.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank. The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank. Real banking, real difference.
From the beginning of time, we've had a natural instinct for growth, for progress, to reach for the skies. On the Ghana Alternate Stock Exchange, it is easier to take your business to the next level. Get listed and make long-term capital today. With less stringent requirements and support from the GAC Support Fund, you can take your business public and reap the endless benefits.
Let me introduce our consultants today. The Managing Director, Ghana Stock Exchange, Mr. K.S. Yamua. Let's put our hands together for him. Mr. John Ekasmad is from Glycolife. Let's put our hands together for him. And Mr. Francis Owusu Echampon is a chartered banker, a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Bankers, the former treasurer of the institute. He's here with us. Without much ado, let's go straight to the competition. The rules for the final. There will be 4 rounds of questions. At the end of each round, the scores will be announced to show progress of each school. The quiz master will indicate the time and marks allotted to each question. Where required, the quiz master will also indicate the time and marks allotted to each bonus question. A round may involve 1 or more sections, and the instructions related to each section in a round will be given by the quiz master. The quiz master and all the consultants reserve the right to award less than the maximum number of marks where they believe that the answer given by a contestant does not fully meet the requirements for correctitude. Seconds out. Round 1. The questions in this round are directed at individual schools. If they answer correctly in 2 attempts within 10 seconds, the school is awarded 5 marks. If the school fails to answer correctly, the question is passed on as a bonus question to the next school for 3 marks in 1 attempt within 5 seconds. It is passed on subsequently until a school answers it or all schools fail to answer. A new major question is then asked the school seated next to the one that started the previous question. The quiz master may decide not to pass the question on and award less than the maximum number of marks to a school. So I'll start with you, University of Education, Winneba. For this section of the questions, you are going to indicate why the following statements are false. So each question is false. This is not a true or false question. The questions are false. So you are going to tell me why you think the question is false. You are required to provide clarity in your answer. And that's the reason why the consultants will decide whether to award you the full marks or not. A contract may be discharged by performance of the contract, by consensus ad idem, or by agreement to consider the contract as discharged. This statement is false. Why so?
It's not true that a contract will be discharged by consensus ad addendum, because with a contract, it can be discharged by either agreement or by breach, agreement by breach, or by performance of the contract.
I think I award the marks. Thank you very much. So next to you, KNUST. Why is this false? Kojo is the payee of a bill of exchange, let's say a check, which is stolen from him by Kwame. Kwame later forges Kojo's endorsement and then hands the bill to Kwesi. In this instance, Kwesi can be considered as a holder for value. Why is this statement false?
The statement is false because the check has been stolen. The bill of exchange has been stolen, and so he's not a holder for value, but a wrongful possessor.
A wrongful possessor, that's correct. That is correct. 5 marks. Kwesi is rather a wrongful possessor. He is not a holder for value. So let me come to you, Methodist University then. Assuming in the above scenario, just what we're just discussing, assuming that Kwame stole the bill after Kojo had endorsed it in a blank before he hands it to Kwesi, and we are arguing that Kwesi is still a wrongful possessor, and we are saying that this is false. Why is it false?
It is false because Kwesi is the holder for value.
Come again.
It is false because Kwesi is the holder for value.
I don't think so. Let me go to University of Ghana for a bonus. Okay, to you, University of...
It is false because Kwesi is the holder in due course.
He's a holder in due course. He's a holder in due course. University of Ghana for 5 points. The Limitation Decree 1972 effected a fusion in the administration of law and equity. And we are saying that this is false. Why is it false?
It's false because it wasn't by the Limitation Decree, but the Judicature Act 1873 to 1875.
I'll take that. Let me come back to you, University of Ghana. I'll start this leg from you, okay, and we'll move this other way. A bill may be discharged in 3 ways, and we are saying that this is false. Why so?
Okay, so a bill would rather be discharged in 5 ways, not 3 ways.
And I want some specific. If you say 5 ways, let me hear some.
By payment, by waiver, by endorsement, PwC.
I'll go to my consultants. Let me go to the consultants. I'm not tempted to pass it on because he's halfway through. So
yeah, he's halfway through, and he gets
agreement to
the first part of the answer right, and he gets some of the reasons why it is false also right. So okay, let's, in fairness, give him 3 over 5.
3 out of 5. Okay, so 3 out of 5 for University of Ghana. A bill may be discharged in 5 ways: by payment, by waiver, cancellation, alteration, and when the acceptor becomes the holder. Let's move on to Methodist University. The case law, Adams versus Linsell, 1818, decided that the acceptance of an offer is complete as soon as the letter of acceptance is posted. And we are saying that this is false. Why do you think it is false? Time out. Let me move on this way to KNUST. Can you help us? Bonus.
This is not the case.
We know. Your time is out. You should have gone straight to the answer. Let me go to University of Education. Winneba.
The case is insurance company versus grant.
That is correct. That is correct. That is correct. An offer may be determined or terminated by lapse of time, intention to create legal relations, rejection of the offer, or by a counter offer. And we say that this is false. Why is it false?
It is false because intention to create legal relations is not part.
It's not part. I'll give it to you. That's 5 marks. It is not part. Let me come to you, Winneba. There are 3 types of endorsement that may be found on a bill of exchange. And we are saying that this is false. This statement made recently by one of the students is false. Why is it so? Tell us.
Because there are not 3 types of endorsements, rather there are 4 types of endorsements.
And these are?
We have blank endorsement, general endorsement, special endorsement. Then we also have qualified endorsement and endorsement by deposit.
I won't take that. I can pass it on to University of Ghana.
Okay, so there are 4, which are blank endorsement, special endorsement, non-negotiable endorsement, and account payee endorsement.
No. Methodist University? Any ideas?
There are 4 types of endorsement. Mm-hmm. The blank, the general, the special, and the restrictive endorsement.
I still think you're also missing something. So let me go to KNUST.
There are 4 types of endorsement, and they are the blank, the special, the conditional, and the restrictive.
That is correct. That's what we are looking for. Please, let's move on. I'll start with you, University of Education, Winneba. This should be the last section in this particular round, okay? This is the next one. Banks are typically sources of permanent financing for a business. And we are saying that this is false. Why do you think this is false?
Banks are not permanent sources of finance because we can get permanent sources of finance from the stock exchange by trading shares.
And they offer only medium and long-term financing and short-term.
I'll give it to you. I'll give you all the facts. Okay? Banks typically provide short-term financing. Longer-term or permanent financing will usually come from investors, which could be from the stock market as well. So I think my consultant wants to say something. Yep.
Yeah, that is right. I just want to emphasize that the operative word here is typically. It does not mean that banks will not, under any circumstance, give long-term finance. Indeed, when you read further, among the Germans, we have banks investing directly as shareholders in some companies. The opposite is what you find mostly in the British environment.
Okay. So, thank you very much. I think we are learning. Okay? Let's move on. Let me come to you, KNUST. Are you ready? Good. A business that borrows funds will be obligated to make payments to its lenders only if it makes profits. And we are saying that is not true.
It is not true because when a business borrows, it's
there's binding on a business to pay the interest, whether you make profits or not.
It's binding. It's binding on you. I'll take it. Methodist University. A person who lends money to a business has reduced his wealth. Why are we saying that this is not true? What do you think?
It's false because when you lend your money, you have not reduced your wealth, but you earn a yield or a return on it, which will rather increase it.
I think that's correct. I'll give it to you. I'll give you the 5 marks. And the final question in this round goes to University of Ghana. Before borrowing long term, a sole proprietorship is required by law to reorganize as a limited liability company. And we are saying this is not true.
Okay, so this is not true. Normally, banks prefer to borrow to companies, like to lend to companies, but then it doesn't really need, sole proprietors are not required to reorganize before they can borrow long term.
Consultants, do we give him the 5?
At best, 3/5.
At best, 3/5.
The correct answer should be sole proprietorship and partnerships can borrow funds long term, but they usually find long term financing more difficult to obtain than does a limited liability company.
Yeah. So we'll give you 3/5. Thank you very much. This brings us to the end of round 1. Thank you.
Here at the Royal Bank, we believe in the goal of making Ghana a cash-light society. That is why we've taken the time to put together a full array of products for your e-banking needs. To start with, we have internet banking, we have mobile banking, we have SMS and e-alerts, we have ATM services where you can withdraw your money 24/7 and they are GH-Link compliant. We also have the intelligent ATMs where you can make deposits without entering the banking hall. The Royal Bank also offers you the Royal Pay, which is a school fee paying product. It's also essential for our schools. But that's not all. We also offer you the MasterCard debit card for those of you who wish to use your cards outside the country or make online purchases. There are many things that the Royal Bank offers in the e-banking space, but watch this space for more. We have more coming. The Royal Bank, real banking, real difference.
At the end of the first round, the scores are as follows. Methodist University College of Ghana has 5 points. University of Ghana has 11 points. University of Education Winneba has 16 points. And KNUST has 18 points. Now let's begin round 2. And the instructions for round 2 are similar to that of round 1. We'll be passing the questions on. The questions are for individual schools. I'll start from my immediate extreme left, University of Ghana. You have 2 attempts within 10 seconds to get 5 marks. If the question is passed on, the student now has 3 marks. If you get it correct, 1 attempt and 5 seconds. Let's begin. I'll start with you, University of Ghana. What rule states that in the current account, credit payments made into it extinguish debit items in that order? In date order. Yeah.
The Clayton's rule.
The Clayton's rule is correct. Thank you. Methodist University. What is a stock?
A stock is a security which is mostly sold on a long term. A stock is a security which is mostly sold on long term, and it's issued by companies.
I'm not convinced. Let me go to you, KNUST.
A stock is a financial asset which is also known as equity finance, and it is sold. And it is sold on a stock exchange, and it shows ownership interest in a company.
I'll give it to him. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. The key word is ownership. The key word is ownership. A stock represents a share of ownership of a corporation or a claim on the firm's earnings or assets. So the key word we were looking for was ownership. KNUST, your major question for 5. Channeling funds from individuals with savings to those desiring funds when the saver does not purchase the borrower's security is known as what?
Financial intermediation.
Financial intermediation is correct. To you, Winneba. The delivery of financial services electronically is called what?
Electronic banking.
I'm looking for...
Electronic trading.
I would rather we end it here because there's just another good answer.
Okay.
So if we pass it on, we may not be fair to him.
So you want to give him how much?
He wouldn't get the full marks.
Okay. So you tell me how much?
3/5.
3/5. We are looking for the delivery of financial services in general, okay? Electronically, e-finance. Whenever. Which type of theory relates changes in the quantity of money to changes in aggregate economic activity and the price level?
The demand and supply theory?
No.
Economic capital?
No. So we go to University of Ghana.
Monetary theory.
Monetary theory, that's correct. So let me come to you, KNUST. It's now your question, okay? A sharp increase in the growth of money in any economy, the growth of money supply is likely followed by what?
Inflation.
High inflation.
High inflation, an increase in inflation. Okay, thank you very much. I'll take that. I'll take that. An increase in inflation rate. Methodist University, is your turn now. Complete this statement. So we are asking you to complete Milton Friedman's famous statement. Inflation is always and everywhere a dash phenomenon.
Natural.
No.
Permanent.
No. You couldn't have. Your time out. So we go to Winneba. Bonus.
It's always a world phenomenon.
No. Where did we start? We started KUS. Do you have any idea?
Economic.
No. Inflation is always and everywhere a monetary phenomenon. Eugene, that's yours. This one requires two answers at different places, so just see if you can help me with this. The management of money and interest rates is called dash policy and is conducted by the nation's dash bank.
Monetary policy and then central bank.
Central bank. Monetary policy and central bank. University of Ghana, help me with this one. Which type of policy involves decisions about government spending and taxation?
Fiscal policy.
Fiscal policy is correct. When tax revenues are greater than government expenditures, the government has a budget what?
Surplus.
Surplus is correct. It's a budget surplus. Thank you. Let me come to you, KNUST, if you are ready for me. Okay. The foreign exchange rate is what?
Is the price of one currency expressed in another currency.
Relative price of two currencies. That is correct. Thank you very much. Relative price of two currencies. And to you, Winneba. GDP measured with constant prices is referred to as what?
It is always the gross domestic product. That is, you sum the total production in the country.
I'm not asking for the definition. I said GDP measured with constant prices is referred to as what? You have been bailed out, so I need to move on. That comes to University of Ghana then. University of Ghana.
Real GDP.
What?
Real GDP.
That is correct. Prior to 1972, the pension scheme was administered jointly by the then Department of Pensions and the State Insurance Corporation. Which law established the scheme in 1972 to administer the National Social Security Scheme?
The State Pension Scheme, 1972.
No. You have another chance. Time running out.
The Pensions Act 766.
No, not that one. Let me go to University of Ghana then. You have any ideas?
Pensions Act 1972.
No. What about you, Methodist University?
National degree of...
Of when? KNUS, you have any ideas?
National Redemption Council Decree 172.
No.
127.
127. 127. So apart from making provisions for a contributory three-tier pension scheme, which body was established by Act 766 to oversee the administration and management of registered pensions and trustees of registered schemes? Okay.
National Pensions Regulatory Authority.
National Pensions Regulatory Authority is correct. Methodist University. Which act amended the National Pensions Act 2008 or 2008 Act 766? Which act? You need to mention the act in full. Which act amended the National Pensions Act 2008 Act 766? And I mean in full. Because there's a particular word if you miss it. University of Ghana, any ideas?
National Pensions Amendment Act 2014, Act 833.
That is correct. That is correct. And finally, in this round, to you, University of Ghana, for 5 marks. Tier 1 is a social insurance scheme under which members contribute during their working life and receive monthly pension in the event of old age or invalidity. In the case of death, the members' dependents receive what?
Their benefits.
I know it's a benefit, of course.
Death benefits.
No.
Survivor's lump sum.
Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for her. And that brings us to the end of round 2.
You're a business owner. You have an enterprise, maybe a company. Watching us and asking yourself, what is this all about? Everything is personal. No, everything is not personal. The Royal Bank has you in mind. Now we thought about how we can satisfy businesses, business account holders, and we came up with the best of 3 worlds. We came up with the Royal SME Plus account. Now, this offers you an insurance cover. It also offers you the best of a current account. And thirdly, this is again an investment account. You have the best of 3 worlds. Now, the Royal SME Plus account allows you to maintain a checkbook on your account. Therefore, you can issue checks to third parties. That flexibility of enjoying a current account. Again, we give you insurance cover in 2 ways. You have a life insurance for yourself and another family member. Second is that you have an insurance cover for accidental permanent disability. Again, you earn very attractive interest rate on the Royal SME Plus account. You also can use your account at some point when you think you want to borrow from the bank to secure a loan which will help you expand your business. This is flexibility. This is convenience. This is earning interest on your current account. This is having the convenience of relaxing whilst your bank thinks about making you profit on the funds you use for your business. The Royal Bank, we always have you in mind. This is real banking, and this is real difference.
At the end of the second round, the scores are as follows. Methodist University College of Ghana has 10 points. University of Education Winneba has 22 points. University of Ghana has 35 points. And KNUST has 44 points. We now move straight away into round 3. And the focus of round 3, ladies and gentlemen, is on principles of good lending. And we're going to learn the things that banks go through when they have to assess an application. So I'll start with Winneba. So the principles of good lending for banks can be reduced to a simplified framework summarized in a useful mnemonic made up of 2 words. Can you give me the first word? The principles of good lending has been simplified and put into some
risk
acronym.
Management.
No, it's an acronym.
Character.
No. University of Ghana.
Campari.
It's Campari. KNUST. This is yours. The second word.
The 5 C's.
No.
6 C's.
No. Winneba?
Ability.
No. What the word I'm looking for is ice. It's Campari and ice. I move on to Methodist University now. So we now know it's Campari and ice. So Campari starts with a C, isn't it? So tell me, what does the C represent?
Character.
Character. And you explain, what are we looking for when we say we are looking at the character?
Okay, character. It talks about the fact that the firm must, the bank must know the customer, that he will be able to pay the loan. He must really know the customer, whether he will be able to pay the loan. He has a good personality.
Consultant.
My candidates got the C right. It's character, all right, but unfortunately the explanation does not gel. So you get 2.
2 marks. Yeah. Because it's actually about honesty and integrity of the business and its management. It's honesty and integrity. That's what character, when we are looking at the character, it deals with integrity. Okay? So let me move on to University of Ghana. There are 2 A's. So you can pick any of them. What does the A stand for?
Okay, so ability to repay or ability.
Yes, okay, so you say you've chosen ability. So what does it mean?
Okay, so it's about the person's professional qualification and then the person's income, like whether the person has regular income to be able to pay the loan back.
That unfortunately is not.
How much?
Sorry, that's not ability. Okay. Let me go to Winneba.
Ability has to do with the competence of the person. If he has enough money to repay.
No.
Ability has to do with his creditworthiness.
No. Yes. You don't know. Okay. Now, ability actually relates to the ability of the borrower to enter into a contract by law. For instance, if you give a loan to a minor, the minor, if you give it is not legally enforceable. And then for a company, it is whether the directors are acting with the authority extended to them in the companies. Do they have the ability? Are they allowed by their own regulations to enter into such a contract? Consultants, what do you think?
At this point, I don't think we will award anything.
Wow.
Because the ability that you mentioned, there are 2A there, and you're trying to describe the first one, which has to do with whether the person has the backing, the
legal
backing of the company to enter the contract.
Thank you. So let me go to University of Education, Winneba. The other A. Amount. So what are we looking for?
This has to do with how much the person is requesting for, and then you assess if he can repay, his potential to repay that amount and what he's going to use it for.
Consultants.
2/5.
2/5.
The reason is the amount of the loan must be consistent with the purpose. Somebody wants to build a 2-story building. By experience, you know it will cost him 20,000 Ghana cedis, and he comes asking for 5,000. That alone clearly shows that the person would not be able to put up the building, which would eventually be your source of repayment.
Thank you very much. I come to you, KNUST. What does the M in Campari stand for?
M is the margin, which stands for the interest payment on the loan.
No,
or the profit, the difference between the amount that is lent. So it's basically the profit.
I'll not take that for M. Okay. Let me move on to Methodist.
It is the difference between the principal amount and the total interest.
No. UG.
Okay, so it's basically the processing
It's what?
fee.
You've not told me what the M stands for.
Margin. Margin.
It's not margin, unfortunately.
M is for the interest rate that will be charged.
And interest starts with M.
No, the monetary rather.
I'm sorry. M is the means M relates to the borrower's technical, managerial, or financial means. The suitability of the assets of the company to generate sufficient levels of cash to repay the loans. It might also refer to how the company monitors and manages risk. Methodist, what about the P?
The P is the purpose.
The purpose, okay. So what are we looking at here when bankers?
Okay, it looks for the reason why the customer is coming for the loan, and it checks if the purpose will serve, like it's equal to, like the amount the customer is requesting will really, like, can really be used for that purpose. So in case the customer requests for, let's say, 1,000 Ghana cedis to buy something which is not, for the purpose which is not worth the 1,000.
I'll not let you labor on. I'll give you the 5 marks. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. It's the purpose of granting the credit, and it must be clear and acceptable to the lender. A loan to settle existing debts, for instance, to suppliers, will give an indication that the company is in serious liquidity challenges. So the purpose should be clear. We need to know why you are borrowing the money, because it also affects the amount that we are going to give. So, University of Ghana. R.
Repayment.
Repayment, okay. So why repayment?
So the person's ability to pay the loan in terms of professional qualification, income, and all that, and you want to assess.
So now you know we are now with repayment. That is correct. We are now with repayment. Okay. Now let me come to you, Winneba. There is an I here. That is at the Campari stage. What does it stand for, and what is the banker looking to see?
Insurance.
Yes, that is correct. But what about insurance?
This looks at what the person is using as a buffer for the loan.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. That is correct. So let me come to another I. That is the beginning of I's.
I is the interest.
The interest is correct. But what about the interest? Tell us a bit about.
It is the amount it is the cost of the loan.
Mm-hmm.
Or the amount that is paid on the loan.
Okay. You want any?
In addition to the principal.
I'll give the interest. I'll give it to you. I'll give the 5 to you. And of course, the interest is part of the cost of the loan. So the higher the risk in the transaction, the greater the interest margin levied. And it is made up of the underlying cost of funds. So the bank's base rate, how much it costs them to look for funds to be able to lend to you, okay? Plus the margin. The margin relates to your level of risk, associated with the transactions. C, the C in the ice.
Capacity.
No. Yes, University of Ghana.
Collateral.
No. We just discussed security, collateral. So let me come to you.
It has to do with the capital.
No. We've gone way beyond capital issues, yes.
Commitment.
No. It's commissions. The bank charges some commissions, commitment fee for reserving facility for a customer for a particular period of time. So once he agrees that he's going to give you the loan, he needs to go and look for the money. Assuming he comes back tomorrow and now you say, oh, I've changed my mind. It's going to cost him, isn't it? So immediately you sign the letter of intent. There's a commitment fee. It's taken up front, even before they start giving you the money. That's what the banks do, okay? It's commissions. And finally, there's an E at the end.
Expenses.
No expenses. It relates to expenses, but it's not expenses, okay? It relates, but it's not expenses.
Extras.
We now want to hear what it means by extras.
Okay, so extras, you're just looking at all the peripheral activities associated with the loan, like the person's...
The what?
Peripheral activities associated with the loan, like in assessing the loan, like the person's expenses and all these things that would affect.
I'm not tempted. So, consultants.
Let's give 2/5.
2/5. 2/5 for University of Ghana. Okay, so the extras refer to all the hidden additional costs. Sometimes you don't know about them. So whenever the bank gives you the offer letter, make sure you read the offer letter. Because behind it, they have legal fees and who is entitled to pay legal fees and when These are the additional costs that the bank normally imposes on you. Okay? That brings us to the end of round 3.
Contact Center, which is part of the Operational Business Suite project embarked upon by the company, has become the interface between SNIT and its cherished customers. The Contact Center provides alternate channel for scheme members, including employers and the public, to make enquiries, lodge complaints, compliment and provide feedbacks. At the Contact Center, it's our job every day to make every important aspect of the customer experience a little bit better.
We deliver on our promise. S-S-N-I-T.
SNIT, we deliver on our promise.
Glycol Group Comprehensive Plan, GGCP. The Glycol Group Comprehensive Plan is an all-encompassing group insurance plan designed to adequately and equitably cover employees or members of an association. The Glycol Group Comprehensive Plan covers you on a 24-hour basis. As an employee of an organization, beneficiaries would be paid an amount equivalent to your annual salary or multiples of your annual salary, or a predetermined lump sum, especially if you belong to an association, in the event of death or permanent disability.
At the end of the 3rd round, the scores are as follows. Methodist University College of Ghana has 17 points. University of Education, Winneba has 29 points. University of Ghana has 45 points. And KNUST has 49 points. Now we go straight away into round 4, and it's checkmate. Our contestants have been given assignments. 3 different assignments today. So like we do always, we've given them a question, we've given them a sheet in which they do their calculations and fill out. I've instructed them that they do the calculations on the plain sheet somewhere and you fill your spreadsheet that has been given to you, okay? The first one says, Auntie Mansa is a senior manager at Data Bank. Her monthly basic pay is 7,000, and they've been asked to fill in the following. The employer's monthly contribution to SNIT on behalf of Auntie Mansa. Auntie Mansa's own annual contribution to SNIT from her basic pay. Auntie Mansa's contribution to the National Health Insurance Fund on a monthly basis. The amount effectively withheld by SNIT from her monthly contribution to administer Tier 1, and the amount transferred to Tier 2 annually by Data Bank on her behalf. That's our first set. The second one reads as follows. It talks about High Magma Limited, which has assets of 160 million and liabilities of 80 million Ghana cedis, and you are to assume that all assets are highly liquid. The owners of Magma, they hold 800,000 shares. Over the last year, the owners have made 12 million Ghana cedis, of which 11% was paid out to shareholders in the form of dividends. The price per share is currently 25 Ghana cedis per share. So they are to calculate the earnings per share, the price earnings ratio, the dividend yield, the net worth, and the dividend per share for High Magma Limited. And the third one, Mrs. Mensah died in 2001 without making a will. She is survived by Mr. Mensah and his son, 2 children from a previous marriage, and 1 adopted child. Her 2 parents are still alive, just as her grandfather, her brother, and her sister. She left behind a house valued at 100,000 Ghana cedis in which she lived with her family a savings account of 450,000 Ghana cedis with the Royal Bank. She had 2 other houses, each valued at 200,000 Ghana cedis. And they are supposed to look for the following: the total value of assets left behind by Mrs. Mensah, the monetary value of the share of the brother in Mrs. Mensah's assets, the value of the share in the 3 properties, and we are talking about the houses, that goes to the first child from the previous marriage. The 4th one is the value of her mother's share in her estate. And the last one, the value of the share of her extended family in her entire estate. You can now turn over and you have 20 minutes.
There's a place in my heart that makes me feel that you're the one. It's a place I wanna be, 'cause satisfaction guaranteed. From strength to strength you help me grow, 'cause you're there for me. And teach me how to be independent, 'cause you care for me. It's you.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank.
Banking with transparency, commitment to integrity.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank. The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank. Real banking, real difference.
To participate in the Ghana Stock Exchange activities as an investor, one must know the following: have a stockbroker who is licensed by the Stock Exchange and regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. That you are entitled to dividend at the end of the financial year when profits are realized. Dividends are calculated as interest on your investment, or you are entitled to capital gain if you decide to sell your investment in a particular company listed on the stock exchange. Capital gain is the difference between the price. Capital gain is the difference between the price at which a security is sold and the price at which the security was purchased. Be aware that your broker should be in the position to advise you on the best investment options available. Log on to www.gse.com.gh for more information.
So we just finished our checkmate and the scores are in. The consultants have looked at the performance of our competitors and decided to award marks as follows. 1 school had 25 marks. 2 schools had 45 marks each. And 1 school had 55 marks. So anything is possible, isn't it? Okay, so before I announce the totals and tell you who got what where, we have some consolation prizes that we have to give away. And Madam, can you assist us? The first one will be the best dressed university. This university has put on immaculate dressing throughout the competition. And the trophy goes to University of Education, Winneba. Very decently dressed throughout the competition from both contestants and supporters. Let's put our hands together for them. They are a shining example to their university. During this competition, we also asked our contesting schools to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and our Facebook page. The most interactive university on social media, University of Ghana. We also asked each school to send us a video, an introductory video before the competition, and we are looking for creativity. Creativity in the video that came up. Can we see the video from Valley View University?
The Royal Banking and Finance Challenge. Emmanuel, how ready are you?
I'm really ready. I can't even wait.
fact, I can't wait as well. Team Valley View, let's do this!
We also had to engage the representatives from the schools to make sure that this thing happens. And it's not easy having to deal with schools in a very short time frame. So we are awarding one representative who was the most proactive rep of all the reps from the various schools, and it goes to Mr. Eric Appa of GTUC. We are recognizing, let's put our hands together for Mr. Eric Appa, GTUC. The most punctual university. They are here on time, very disciplined, seated. It goes to Regent University, the most punctual university which allowed us to do things on time. Let's put our hands together for them. The school who got 25 marks finished fourth with a total marks of 42, and that was MUCG. And MUCG had 25 marks from the checkmate. The school that finished third had 45 marks from the checkmate session, had a total of 74 points, and that was UEW, University of Winneba. 45 out of 75. Well done. In first position, with a total of 104 points, KNUST. So KNUST actually won the checkmate as well. They had 55 points to beat Legon, who finished second with 90 points. So KNUST won by a margin of 14 points. So the champions of the maiden edition of the Royal Banking and Finance Challenge is KNUST. All the 15 schools are going away with a certificate of participation, but there are still prizes for others. From 5th to 8th position, apart from the certificate of participation, there are books from the Chartered Institute of Bankers worth 1,000 Ghana cedis. In 4th position, each of the 2 students is taking away a tablet. The 2 of them are also taking away 2,000 cedis in Royal Student account. So there's an account going to be opened for them by the Royal Bank. The school itself will also take away 2,000 Ghana cedis cash plus 1,000 Ghana cedis worth of books awarded to the university. The students are also getting a total of 1,000 cedis worth of Data Bank Students Investment Account, a 30,000 cedis worth of Glyco Life Insurance cover, plus 500 cedis worth of book allowance for the students. 3rd position, 2 tablets, 2,000 cedis each. The students in Royal Student Account, 2,000 cedis cash for the school, 1,000 cedis worth of books for the school, for your library, 1,000 cedis worth of Data Bank Student Investment Account, 30,000 cedis worth of Glyco Life Insurance cover for each of the students, plus 500 cedis book allowance for the students. In 2nd position, each student takes away a laptop. Each of them. 3,000 cedis awarded in Royal Students account for the contestants. The school also takes away 3,000 Ghana cedis plus 1,000 cedis worth of books, 1,000 cedis of Data Bank Student Investment account for the 2 students, 30,000 cedis worth of Glyco life insurance cover for the 2 contestants, 1,000 cedis worth of data bank student investment account for the 2 contestants. We also have 500 cedis book allowance for the 2 contestants, for them to buy books for themselves. Now to the winning school. Each of them goes away with a laptop, obviously. The 2 of them will take 4,000 cedis in Royal Students' accounts, so 2,000 cedis each in their accounts. 3,000 cedis to their school, plus 1,000 cedis worth of books to the school as well. So each of the 4 schools, 1,000 Ghana cedis worth of books for your library. And the books are there from the Chartered Institute of Bankers. 1,000 cedis worth of data bank student investment account for the 2 contestants. 30,000 cedis worth of Glyco life insurance cover, plus 500 cedis worth of book allowance awarded to the contestants. And so that's a lot of prizes being given away today by the organizers. Let me invite contestants from Methodist University, Ghana. Let's put our hands together for them. All the finalists are going to get internship opportunities with the sponsors and the partners. KNUST are the winners, the champions of the maiden edition, and it's my singular pleasure to invite the managing director of the Royal Bank, Mr. Osei Asafuaje, himself an alumni of KNUST. Let's put our hands together for them. KNUST are the winners of the Maiden Royal Banking and Finance Challenge. Congratulations. Congratulations, KNUST. And better luck next time to all of us. And we want to see all of you in 2018.